Live. It stars Over the Prairie with 8-time Minnesota Music Award-winning songwriter, musician, author, and historian, Paul Metsa. Check out previous show podcasts at KDAL610.com. Now, here's Paul Metsa.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Stars Over the Prairie. This is your host, Paul Metsa. Of course, every week I've got my wingman, Chris Allen, on. People ask, what do you do, Paul, on Stars Over the Prairie? Well, we interview stars. People that used to be stars, people that want to be stars, people that just want to go out at night and crack a cold one and look at the stars. We are broadcasting from the Zenith City by the Unsalted Sea, 238 somersaults down the hill from Bob Dylan's childhood home. And
I knew it would grow. I knew it.
Well, you never know. It's crazy times out there in Tiltown. We are stone's throw away from Bob Dylan's way, and occasionally we love to check in with people that know a little bit more about Bob than the average listener or fan, and we do that. We'll be doing that in 2026. But we've been on the air now for going on almost 2 years, Chris.
Couple of months, and we'll hit that 2-year note.
We got to figure out something fun to do.
I think you should play on the show again.
Yeah.
I think you should bring your guitar.
And I'm going to start bringing in the Tiltown Titanettes, my two singers.
There you go.
Who will be joining us. We've got 3 guests on today. We are going to be talking about the 50th anniversary of Iron Range's, one of the Iron Range's favorite bands, my band, Cats Under the Stars. We will be talking with Tim O'Keefe, who grew up in the Twin Ports and the born and raised in Superior, moved to Duluth, played around for quite a while until he moved up to Virginia, Minnesota, my hometown, the Queen City of the Iron Range. We will also be talking with the pride of the South Side of Virginia, Jack Pasternacki. Those two guys were the original gangsters in Cats Under the Stars, along with myself, and a bass player that passed away that we remembered. It would have been his 73rd birthday just a few days ago, Mr. Skip Nelamark. So we've got them to talk about our big 50th anniversary show at the Parkway Theater on Saturday, December 28th, down there in Minneapolis. And then live in the studio, a man who is making his way in the country rock scene in the Twin Ports, Mr. Rafe Carlson. I've checked out a lot of his stuff. He's a great singer. He's written some great songs, and he
plays around the area, so everybody knows him.
Oh yeah, he's played We Fest. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
down there in Detroit Lights, and he's going to be singing a couple of songs for us live. So we are looking forward to that. Cats Under the Stars started on the first day of high school in 1973 when I met a fellow named Tim O'Keefe that had just moved to town from Duluth. We shared the 7th hour printing class together. I knew he was a harmonica player. I said hello. I had heard him play earlier that summer at a kegger. He brought his harmonica to school the next day, and we basically been playing on and off ever since. We're going to talk to him now. He's one of the greatest natural musicians I ever met. We're going to have a nice chat with Mr. Tim O'Keefe. Are you looking forward to the big show?
Oh, yeah, you bet. Of course I am, yeah. We always have fun together, lots of fun together.
Oh, yeah, we've had more than our share of fun over the years. Ain't no doubt about it. Timmy, why don't you tell us about growing up in the Twin Ports, where you were born, where you came of age, and how did you start playing?
Actually, so I'm originally from Superior, and then we moved over to Duluth, and I started hanging out with John Ward and John Havernan and some other Ray Wolf and other well-known Twin Ports musicians, and I started actually playing harmonica when I was in junior high, and then then I started hanging out with those guys, and we were playing together. And so my first musical experiences were with John Ward and Havernan, and we played some of John's original tunes, and then we played old blues and some jazz and this and that, and a smattering of stuff that was happening back in 71, 72, something like that.
Was that 1871?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know.
Timmy,
one of those,
one of those centuries. Timmy, what attracted you to the harmonica?
Well, I started listening to all the blues records. I heard, I'd hear it from time to time here and there, but then I started listening to Sonny Terry and Little Walter and the Muddy Waters recordings, the blues recordings in particular,
Right.
That really attracted me. I love that sound. I love the, the real country acoustic sound of like Charlie McCoy and Sonny Terry, and then the really amplified sound of Little Walter and Big Walter and those Chicago guys and Paul Butterfield, of course, and and so I took it on, and I've had a great time playing it. And then I moved to the Iron Range, and oh my God,
Right. Tell us about when you moved to Virginia. I used to see you walking down the street, the main street, Chestnut Street in Virginia, walking your dog, Rip, who I learned to love with that little snaggletooth he had. But what was your feeling moving into Virginia, the Iron Range? I mean, you were a senior in high school and all new to you. What were your first impressions of in the heart of the Iron Range?
That was odd, coming from Duluth, which was, to me, it seemed like a pretty big city, in those days, and moving up there was a bit of a shock. We first lived in an apartment like one block off Main Street, and I didn't know anybody there, so I would take my, just to get out of my, my parents' apartment, I would take my dog Rip out for walks. And like one of the first things I noticed is that I'm walking my dog up and down Main Street, and I seen the same cars going back and forth and back and forth. And I think one of those was Paul Studehar's car when he had that big old green one, because that one really stood out. I said, "What the hell is going on here? What are they doing?" I mean, they just drive back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That's
called bombing the drag, Timmy O'Keefe.
That's right, bombing the drag. I wasn't used to that. That didn't happen down in Duluth. In Duluth, we hung out at Leif Erikson Park.
Right.
Most of us didn't have cars, and we hung out at Leif Erikson Park, and did that stuff down there.
Well, it was. I think that car, it was like a 52 Buick that Paul had.
Yeah, right.
And of course, then I had seen you play at a kegger at a party, and I'd heard that you were, some of my friends had heard you and said, "Man, you got to hear this guy. Just moved to town. He's an amazing harmonica player." And I saw you that night, and I said, "Man, he is an amazing harmonica player." And then, as fate would have it, you and I ended up in the same printing class, 7th hour at Virginia High School, with the driver of that car, Paul Studehar.
Yep. And I was just, in those days, I was kind of all eyes. I was just kind of trying to notice everything and, see what the pulse was there and figure out what was happening. And I turned around and I see you two guys were just lost. I thought to myself, these two, you and Paul Studehar, a.k.a. Pud, I said, you guys need some serious help,
Direction. We need a direction.
Sometimes those lunch hours, it was hard to come back from lunch sometimes,
Yeah, they got a little smoky. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, right. Same with Duluth East when I was, down there,
Oh, well, it was the time. Now, Timmy, I remember, so we met. That was, we'll tell the whole story if we see any of you people in, in person. But so Timmy and I met, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, bring your harmonica to school the next day," and I brought my guitar. Do you remember that couple hours we spent on the steps at high school playing?
Exactly. Yep.
And then you took me back to your house. I believe you were living in College Park by then, right by Silver Lake. And
actually,
we
hadn't moved out there yet, but we were still at the apartment for a few months. The first few months I was there. But we got together somewhere. Eventually, we went out to College Park and that bit out there, and yeah.
But I've got to thank you, and I have over the years, Tim O'Keefe, because you were the guy that turned me on the blues. Now, you could see blues on television, if B.B. King or Jimi Hendrix or whoever was on the Johnny Carson show, but there wasn't really many bands playing blues up on the Iron Range. So when I went over to your house, I'll never forget, and you had all the, back then we used to rock the cassette player, right? And
right, oh yeah. Yeah.
And you had all these cassettes of Muddy Waters and Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee, who kind of became, for us, kind of our template, because I could start to play some of that Brownie McGee guitar stuff. And, of course, you were well-versed in Sonny Terry by then. But that became our template. And for those of you that never saw the Bernie Scribble New Freedom Jug Band, you don't know what you were missing. Timmy and I played harmonica, dulcimer, we had banjos, but our main instruments were, of course, guitar and harmonica. And then not long after that, we turned into Metsa and O'Keefe, the only Finnish-Irish acoustic blues duo playing in the upper Midwest.
That's right. That's right.
Now, you got to tell me, Timmy, how did I went to the same grade school as Jack Pasternacki in junior high and high school? I knew who Jack was because he was an ace athlete back then, but I didn't know he played guitar. So how did you end up knowing Jack Pasternacki? First, the guitar player in the band, then became the bass player for years, and now he's back playing guitar with Cats Under the Stars.
I don't remember exactly the first time me and Jack met, but I think it might have had something to do with a location known as The Office, the El Dorado on Main Street, Virginia. I think that might have had something to do with that,
Of course, then we were all working construction back then, and it wasn't a rare thing for construction workers to go downtown and have a couple of cold ones after the shift.
That's
night
right.
after night after night. Do you remember the first time you heard Pasternacki play?
I remember him playing. When him and I we'd met and we'd talked about music and stuff, and then somehow we got together and I heard him playing. Yeah, I was knocked out by his playing. He was playing with a first time I heard him. I think he was playing with a guy named Fred, who was the banjo player, who did a clawhammer style banjo playing that he knew from, I don't know if it was from St. John's or something. But and then Pasty, he comes up with his style of finger picking guitar, which is really great. I loved it, And
oh yeah, Now let's talk a little bit about the dearly departed Skip Nelamark, whose birthday was yesterday. I think Skip would have been 73 yesterday. But how did you meet Skip Nelamark, bass player, banjo player, and guitar player in Cats Under the Stars?
Yeah, again, back to The Office,
Yeah.
Skip was an absolute regular down there, and of course, and the legal drinking age in those days is 18, so it's a whole different scene in those areas, and and I think somebody introduced me to Skip, and then turned out Skip lived with his folks like 2 blocks away from me.
Right.
And then he talked about what he was into and what he was doing, and he was about way into the Leo Kottke thing, and I'd been a big Leo Kottke fan since the first time I heard him. And then So I was all about just playing with everybody possible all the time. I got to say, my whole musical thing has done. I've met so many great musicians in my life and had so much great influence because I played with so many different people, and every one of them was a joy to play with, and it was a joy to make music with people from all over the world, from every walk of life, and it still is,
Yeah. Well, and you've turned into just an amazing percussionist, and also play a variety of string instruments with. Name some of the international musicians you've played with over the last handful of years.
Well, I just did a gig. I still play semi-regularly with Chiama Matsungiri from the Congo.
Wow.
And we just had a really nice gig the other night, playing music that he's written, Congolese, music. It was actually for a theater project that somebody's starting a theater in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And then I have an international trio with actually my wife and Laura Haran and Dave Burke, and Laura got a big grant for this trio, and we go to senior homes during the day, and we do this thing called Caravan, and we do a smattering of music from around the world. We start in Brazil, and then we go to Costa Rica, and then we go up to the hot club stuff in France, and then we go to the Balkans, and then we end up in like Tajikistan and Japan, and we always end up in Hawaii, or with some Hawaiian flavor, because Dave Burke plays a lap steel guitar, great play, and that Hawaiian style that people of that generation really love that sound, And then I played with these big time Arabic players, Simon Shaheen, who was one of my teachers for many years. I performed with him. Another guy from Jordan, Sakar Hatter, I played with over in Jordan. And then some of these big Persian music stars, and then I don't know, people from everywhere. I've been really lucky.
Well, you're one of, I say you are one of the most naturally gifted musicians I've ever met. Now we've got the big Cats and the Stars 50th anniversary next week, Sunday, December 28th. Tell the people out there that haven't seen the Cats, what they can expect.
A rollicking good time. Possibly with some shenanigans, and really a fun time, We always have a great time playing together, and we did a few, and we're warmed up. We did a few other gigs this summer, which was really fun. It was a blast. And so it'll be kind of a lot of blasts from the past, and then I imagine we'll do some of your tunes. And I'm introducing a new tune to the group too that we're going to do, and it'll be a really good time, and with some great musicians and great feeling, and that's a great place to play too. The Parkway, I love playing there. So.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it, Tim O'Keefe. We're going to listen to a song that the Cats and the Stars recorded in 1982, which features an amazing chromatic harmonica solo by you, a song I wrote called Blue Ghost. But Timmy, have a beautiful evening, and I really look forward to getting together with the Cats next week.
Yeah, I look forward to it too. It'll be one of the highlights of the holidays. There you go.
I like
Paul,
the way you put that. All right, Timmy, have a great night, man.
You too. Take care. Thanks.
Your 7 pretty sisters and your mother's gentle hand. Your father went to wave the flag, came back another man. The first to leave his family in a silver stucco home. The voices in the basement, they told him he's all alone. You say you don't know you're going. All you gotta do is follow your own heart. Walk from the way you know the smoke winds are blowing. Blue ghosts are laughing at you in the dark. Big time barroom bandits whose end is almost here, shooting at the ministers who hang from chandeliers. It was they that killed their fathers, they want to do your wife. I know it cuts you deeply, man, it cuts you like a knife. You say you don't know you're going, all you gotta do is follow your heart. Walk from away and all the smoke winds are blowing. Blue ghosts are laughing at you in the dark.
I'm Sydney, and I had Z LASIK at Weiss Eye Center. Oh man, camping and like being able to look up at the stars, or like wake up to the stars, or wake up to the sun, and not have to kind of fumble around to see where my glasses are. So I'm looking forward to that. Eventually, it's like getting out and enjoying nature with sort of no barrier. Oh, the staff were really great. Yeah, it was really, always felt pretty taken care of, and very friendly staff, and they were answering my questions even if they were like really, really trivial. It's something that you gotta have like sort of a bit of trust in this doctor.
Weiss Eye Center is the only clinic to offer blade-free Z LASIK in the Northland. To find out more and to arrange your free consultation, call 218-625-1917 today, or visit weisseyecenter.com for more information. Weiss Eye Center. See the best.
Rocky Wall Entertainment is pleased to announce a live free concert featuring Sam Miltich and friends at the Silver Bay Reunion Hall on Saturday, December 27th, 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:15 p.m. Come join us as we send out 2025 and welcome 2026 in style with new music from the old country performed by Sam Miltich and friends. More information available at rockywallentertainment.org. See you there.
It's Stars Over the Prairie with Paul Metsa on Northland News Radio KDAL.
We're back with Stars Over the Prairie. This is your host, Paul Metsa. My wingman, Chris Allen, here with me every week. Want to remind you, we're going to have a very special holiday edition next week. Coming up in second part of the show, we've got Rafe Carlson, a real great rockin' singer-songwriter, country western southern rocker, who's originally from just a little bit outside of Duluth, in live with his guitar. We have been chatting. We just got done chatting with Tim O'Keefe, founding member of Cats and the Stars. Of course, we're celebrating our 50th anniversary on December 28th at the Parkway Theater in Minneapolis. You can get your tickets at parkwaytheater.com. Next, we're going to chat with one of the founding members of Cats Under the Stars from the south side of Virginia. He played bass, he played acoustic guitar, and he's playing electric guitar now with Cats Under the Stars, Jack Pasternacki. And on the line, we have a man who's been with the Cats since the beginning, Mr. Jack Pasternacki from the south side of Virginia, Minnesota. Jack, how you doing tonight?
Good, Paul. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm really excited about the Cats reunion. We just had a really fun conversation with Mr. Tim O'Keefe. We were trying to figure out when Tim met you, because you and I went to the same grade school, and junior high and high school, but we didn't really know, we knew who each other was, but we didn't really start playing together till after high school. But do you remember how you met Tim and when you started playing with him?
Well, it was before he'd come to Virginia, and you'd met him because he was in your class. But I remember going with Tim, who I met because I heard him play harmonica. Then we started talking about old blues records, and then we went to see your band at that time, Damn Everything But the Circus, play at the Vermilion Club.
Okay.
And that's, so it was even, this is before Cats Under the Stars had even started. So that's kind of the entry point, I think.
And
almost, but you guys were seniors in high school, as I recall.
Yeah, we met the first day of senior high and started playing the next day. And then, so I'm just trying, kind of smoky and foggy times back then, Jack, as was the times. But do you remember when the first time you, I, and the man we talked about in the last segment, Skip Mellemark, actually got together and jammed?
Yes, I remember our first gig. We were at your grandfather's cabin on Lake Vermilion, and you were calling bar owners in the area saying, do you want to hire our band? Now, the band at that point was acoustic, kind of a combination between folk music, bluegrass, and jug band music, and with no electric guitars. So we find a guy at Crane Lake that says, I'll hire your band for $100 and free beer, which turned out to be a bad deal for the bar owner. But the reason he hired us was because he had a group of canoe people coming in for their annual canoe trip. That's why he hired us. So we play the gig, we drink the beer, people are dancing, and then as the bar closed, somebody said it would be a good idea if we went with the canoe trip people back to their campsite that was on a portage on Crane Lake. So now it's 1:00 in the morning. We've drank $300 worth of free beer, and we're carrying our guitars down a half mile in the dark to get to this campsite. And when we get there, these people now have had enough to drink. They want to go to sleep, and they really didn't like our band that much. So we became the only Minnesota band to actually portage into the BWCA.
Oh my God. I remember when we got there and it was dark and it was cold but we survived. And then we got to, back then our first name was Hot Walleye, kind of as a ode and appreciation of the band we loved, Hot Tuna, kind of our northern Minnesota version of that. But when we started playing electric, what were some of our first gigs back then?
The first electric gigs were, as Hot Walleye, we played a wedding on the main street of Virginia, but then we got serious once we plugged in and started playing in Biwabic, Minnesota at the Tumbleweed Bar on Tuesday nights.
Right. Every Tuesday.
And that was, every Tuesday. So then we get a small crowd in a very small town in a small bar. We kind of ruled the Tuesday, Wednesday slot up in northern Minnesota.
Right. And I remember the Tumbleweed. I believe the woman that owned it her name was Carol, and she was always she was a bass player, and she used to sit in with us.
That could be true. There was the only thing I remember about that was that it was that classic part where, much like what happened to some of the bands in San Francisco, people that are basically acoustic guitar players get an amp and an electric guitar, they plug in, they're basically still playing acoustic guitar, but it's a lot louder. That's what I recall.
Right. In fact, I just saw a great interview. I think I sent it to you with Jorma Kaukonen, who's doing this. He's 85 and he's doing what I hope is not his last tour. He's coming to Duluth, so I'm looking forward to catching that. But so you were living then, so we had a couple summers together, and then you went down to college, down to, I believe you went to Gustavus, didn't you, or did you go to St. John's?
Well, I disappeared to St. John's, then I disappeared to Mankato State. I lived in St. Peter, and so for a while there, the Cats were kind of a summer band.
Right.
You could work a little bit, maybe pick up a couple of odd jobs. We were painting houses at the time. We were working construction. There was a lot of that going on.
Yes, I remember when O'Keefe and I spent a summer painting, and we didn't quite have the art of indoor and outdoor painting, and we did happen to paint a very nice old lady's windows shut. I think they eventually opened them up. but it was a brief painting career. But that's what musicians did back then. You know, you did whatever you had to do to get to the next gig.
Absolutely.
Tell people about how knocked out both you and I were by Tim O'Keefe's harmonica playing.
Yeah, he was kind of a revelation. First of all, not everybody played harmonica well, and Tim not only could play anything, especially blues, but he had a great record collection. He had a wild appreciation for all kinds of music. He was, in some ways, a little bit ahead of us, and I think that was, for a long time, we were just kind of trying to keep up with Tim. He was taking the lion's share of the solos. He was suggesting tunes for us to play. That really got us going.
Well, he was truly remains the virtuoso of the band.
Absolutely. And now, of course, his percussion chops are, and really some of that came from when we got the electric band going in the cities. That's when we started to get into New Orleans music, reggae music, etc. And Timmy got into percussion because of that, and then really took that. You know, in several decades later, he's a master musician on percussion.
Yes, and known all over the country, and he's toured internationally. I can't say enough about the guy, and still one of the best harmonica players in America.
Absolutely.
On top
I was
of everything else.
I was just listening to some of those the old 45s that we issued back in the early 80s. I was listening to Tim's solos, and the 45 had Louie Louie, a reggae version of that tune, and then your original Blue Ghost. And I think when we released that, it was a 45 single, and it did well. It didn't go gold or platinum, but I think it did go aluminum, like a good fishing boat.
Or linoleum. I can't remember. I'd have to dig into the charts back then. Now, we're going to play it at the end of this. Go ahead.
And the other thing to say about that is that because of that record, the three of us are very proud Monkey Business Records recording artists.
Yes, our only business is monkey business. And you know what I like to say ahead of this, our 50th anniversary next Sunday, December 28th at the Parkway. We might be the only band in the Twin Cities that played both Moby Dick's downtown on Hennepin Avenue and the Prairie Home Companion.
And the Guthrie Theater. Now, I got one story about the Prairie Home Companion gig. You know, it was fun. Garrison Keillor's show was huge at the time. We played it with Tom Lieberman. We had our tuxedos on.
And Tommy's going to be playing with us at the
Absolutely.
Parkway.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see Tom Lieberman again. But after that gig, the electric band was playing, and we'd played, and I didn't have an apartment down here yet, so I was driving around after a gig trying to find a place to crash, and I made a U-turn in Kenwood, and I got pulled over by the police, and they were looking for a burglary suspect, and I looked suspicious, I guess. So they pulled me over. They got the lights on the squad car going. They tell me to get out of the car, get my hands on top of the car. It was kind of serious. And the cop says, "What are you doing?" The cop says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Listen, I'm a musician, and I'm trying to find my manager's house. I'm lost." I kind of made up a story. And the other cop says, "What band are you with?" And I said, "Cats Under the Stars." And he says, "Hey, I just heard you guys on Prairie Home Companion." Worked out perfectly.
Oh my God. It's, there you go. That's what I call beautiful karma. Well, Jack Pasternacki, it's been great. Of course, you know, not only knowing you for knowing who you were for over 60 years, but I'm really looking forward to the show at the Parkway Theater. Tell people about what you love about the Cats and what you think we bring to the musical table.
Well, you've got a Northern Minnesota band that's been together for 5 decades. You've got guys that have played together but are also good friends, and we've got a really strong band we're putting together for this gig. Jimmy Anton on bass, a famous monster from down here. Al Wakery on keyboards, other guest stars, Tommy Lieberman. It's going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to it.
And Sonny Earl, the Tilton Titanettes, and more. And I'm looking forward to it too. I'm changing my strings tonight, so we'll be home. Yes. You know, I'm not waiting for the last minute on that. But we've been talking with Jack Pasternak, one of the original Cats Under the Stars. Here's a song Jack and I arranged and wrote the lyrics for, a reggae version of Louie Louie. Jack, we'll see you next weekend.
Okay, man. See you there.
All she wants to do is smoke my cigarettes. Louie-Louie, whoa. Louie-Louie, whoa. Louie-Louie, whoa. Louie-Louie,
Rocky Wall Entertainment is pleased to announce in its winter concert series lineup, Sam Miltich and Friends performing Saturday, December 27th at the Reunion Hall in downtown Silver Bay. Show starts at 7, doors open at 6:15. Emma's Food Truck will be there. Silver Bay Liquor Lounge will be providing beverages. Come on down, see Sam Miltich and Friends performing new music from the old country. More information available, RockyWallEntertainment.org.
I'm Zach, and I had Z LASIK at Weiss Eye Center. I was sick of wearing glasses. I've had glasses since third grade. Dealing with the nuisance of glasses kind of reached that point of I just need to get LASIK. I was a little nervous, but knowing now what that process all entailed, I wouldn't have been nervous if I knew. Everybody's really nice here. Not a bad thing to say about anybody. Everybody's happy, and no, everybody here's nice. And I mean, it's day one post-op, and I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Weiss Eye Center is the only clinic to offer blade-free Z LASIK in the Northland. To find out more and to arrange your free consultation, call 218-625-1917 today or visit weisseyecenter.com for more information. Weiss Eye Center. See the best.
Listen to previous Stars Over the Prairie shows on our podcast page at kdal610.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The December is a stranger. I walk like I just lost the keys to this city. As a sailor, I've sent postcards round the world, but the picture tonight wasn't pretty. I walked in the shadows of haunted hotels like a miner trapped in a cavern. Well, I looked to the east and a star it shone down, and it led me right to Molly's Tavern. So I followed the footprints made in the snow by Salvation Army musicians. I got in line and I stood right behind a tap dancer and two blind magicians. You would have thought I had been there before, as Molly stood there to greet me. 80 years old with a gleam in her eye, said you're expected, and proceeded to seat me. Come on, you low down rounders, lift up your low down ways. Pass the malt and the mistletoe. It's almost Christmas Day. I walked around and the harp player asked if I would like to request a selection. I smiled and I asked for God bless the child, and for him I took up a collection. I spotted a man with a white beard and red, from a distance looked just like Kris Kringle. As he went to the roof, oh, I thought I heard hoofs, and I swear I heard sleigh bells a jingle. We waltzed on a dance floor made out of glass. Between dances we sang Christmas carols. Then we lit candles, had a moment of silence. The bartender read F. Scott Fitzgerald. Molly said first we must give to receive. We put our trinkets into a kitty. In went my compass and my grandfather's watch, and I pulled out the key to the city. Come on, you low down rounders, lift up your low down wave. Pass the malt and the mistletoe. It's almost Christmas Day. And so I guess if there's a lesson I've learned, it is one that will keep me from danger. Sometimes you get lost just so you will be found, and return the kindness to strangers. I explained how I felt as I kissed Molly's hand, like a miner freed from a cavern. Merry Christmas, baby. Is
you are back with Stars Over the Prairie. This is your host, Paul Metsa. That was a song I wrote for legendary barkeeper in Superior, Molly O'Cash. She had Molly's Bar for years and years and years on Tower Avenue. And I was asked to write a Christmas song for a project, and I came up with Christmas at Molly's. Hope you enjoyed that. We're excited to have Rafe Carlson in the studio today. He's going to be playing a couple of songs. If you buzz around on social media like I do, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, you're going to bump into this guy, especially if you're in the Twin Ports. He's got a great presence on social media, and he's really making a way for himself in the world of music. He calls his style loud American music. Rafe, good morning. Tell us more about your kind of music.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me down. I started playing around the bars here in Duluth and Superior back in 2021, early 2021, and kind of just grew into something where we developed a brand and a sound and a fan base and people that like to listen to what we put out. So it wasn't easy, and it was kind of more of a process than I thought it would be. But you got to know what you don't want to sing and what you don't want to play to figure out what you do want to play. So
right.
The last few years has been a lot of that.
And you have a couple of your cousins in the band.
Yeah. I don't get me and my cousin Steven and my cousin Dave. We started playing together. I think the first or second time I played Bayfront was just me and my cousin Dave up there, just a little duo, opening up for Jake Owen. But we're still kind of like a family band. We'll do bonfire jam sessions with all my cousins and
cool
aunts and uncles and stuff. So it's pretty fun. I came from a pretty musical family.
Why don't you play us a number? What would you like to play? Your choice, Rafe Carlson.
Cool. I'll do an original. Kick it off here.
Great.
This is a song I wrote down in Nashville. A buddy of mine, J.W. Griffin. This is called Blowing Smoke. Man made a fire, the man made a cigarette. Took a woman like you to get a man like me to quit.
But this jank is back to smell like a pack of menthols. Telling my friends it's all your fault. I'm burning them back to back ever since you walked. I'm just blowing smoke, trying to carry on with a heart that's broke. Ever since the flame went out, all I think about is how I let a good love go. All I do is blame you now, let the whiskey drown the truth till there ain't no more. I'm just blowing smoke. A little Jim Beam, a little nicotine, I'll be fine. But it's just another fix to forget about your wintergreen eyes. I just can't believe you went out on me like the spark from a junk drawer lighter. So you can go and tell your friends that I'm the liar. And I'm just blowing smoke, trying to carry on with a heart that's broke. Ever since the flame went out, all I think about is how I let a good love go. All I do is blame you now, let the whiskey drown the truth till there ain't no more. I'm just blowing smoke. I'm just blowing smoke, trying to carry on with a heart that's broke. Ever since the flame went out, all I think about is how I let a good love go. All I do is blame you now, let the whiskey drown the truth till there ain't no more. I'm just blowing smoke. I'm just blowing smoke. Man made a fire, the man made a cigarette.
Wow, man, that sounded great. I love that song, Rafe.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Beautiful. Now, and that's a great, that Larrabee guitar, man, sounds great.
I like it. It does a trick. I bought it down in St. Paul probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I was a little beat up when I got it, and I put probably that same amount of dents and scratches in it since I've owned it. So,
where'd you get at Willie's Guitars?
Oh, I got it at Vig Guitars.
Oh, yeah, I know Ted, a good guy.
It's a cool spot, yeah.
Good guy. So, tell us about, you've been going down to Nashville and doing some writing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just got back. Actually, I live down there now. So I just got back for the holidays. We played at the Deck last night for the Cirrus holiday party. But I've been going to Nashville and writing for 4 or 5 years now and just kind of figuring out the whole lay of the land down there. And it's definitely a town where, you know, there's a lot of people that say you don't need to live there, and a lot of people say you do need to live there. And I think that if you want to do the songwriting thing, you definitely have to live there.
Yeah.
What I've found as an artist is that I don't play a whole lot in Nashville unless I absolutely have to. Like, I kind of, you know, I'm a weekend warrior a little bit. You know, last spring I was flying out just about every weekend to play shows. And so it turns into something where, you know, you're there writing and in the studio and meetings and stuff Monday through Thursday.
Right.
And then you fly out for shows wherever it is, and you get back Sunday night. And that's kind of the rhythm you get into after a while.
There's a lot of, I've got a handful of my buddies that live in Nashville, musicians, and some that lived there for a long time. I was down there a couple of years ago, and if you can keep from getting run over by the drunken bachelorette parties, you can really have a good time.
And their giant tractors that they take down the street.
Yeah.
There's like every type of imaginable. There's like a giant school bus with the roof chopped off of it. There's a big tractor with like a hayride type thing. There's those pedal taverns where there's a keg in the middle of it and everyone pedals. I saw a horse one time. Like it's a pretty crazy town. It's turned into like Las Vegas.
That horse is always there, though. I think that horse.
I
You're
think
talking
that horse
about the
is
one that's
probably
down on
drunk by now.
Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that horse has always been. I don't think it's the same horse, but there's always been a horse on Broadway.
I don't think it'd live too long if it was the same horse.
Yeah.
So, Rafe Carlson, so what? How do you get your records out? Do you have what sort of label do you work with? Do you have your own, or?
So, navigating that has been interesting because, like, coming up, like my programming, like my non-music business brain coming into this was like, oh, you just get, go get a record deal or something.
Yeah.
They take care of everything. But, since the since the Telecommunications Act and all these different things, I mean, and social media, and then Napster, and then it was LimeWire, and now it's Spotify and all that stuff. It's like basically how everything is working in Nashville right now, at least from my understanding, is like you kind of piece together a team. So you got your distributor here, your management here. If you have a label, the best way to do it, in my mind, is keeping everything separate, because then you're in control. You're at the center of the wheel, kind of.
Right.
If you just go all in and sign some papers, and then all of a sudden they have your lawyer too, and so it's like, okay, well, they just own you then. So I think the smart thing to do is be as independent as you can and hire people to do things, as opposed to just saying, okay, I'm jumping into a deal where I don't really.
So, some of the best advice I ever got, Rafe, over the years, I took, I think it was a South by Southwest, and I went out for lunch with Bob Mould from Husker Du, and who went through, they were putting out their own records, and he eventually signed with Warner Brothers and SST Records, both of which didn't work out as well as they could have. And he told me, and you probably know this, but I'm telling Paul Metsa is telling Rafe Carlson, keep control of your masters.
For sure. And you'll get these offers too. I'll get them at least once a week, it seems like these days, from producers. They're like, oh, I'll work with you for free, but it's like, yeah, I'm going to own whoever pays for the master.
Right.
The masters.
Yeah, and you got to watch publishing and everything. I have a couple of friends that are being talked to by The Voice and by American Idol, and they say, oh, we don't want to sign those lousy deals. And I go, what you don't understand is it's all in the negotiation, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can get some of that, but what are they going to give you in return? And I said, don't turn them down on the offer. Go back with your side, what you want, and overshoot that so that somewhere you land where you want.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, it's all about the negotiating position you're in.
Right.
If you've got 1 million followers online and you're selling out every room you play in, you're going to have a little more power in those kind of deals.
So where do you play around the country, Rafe?
Sorry, I got a frog in my throat
That's
still from
all right.
last night. Yeah, we're going to I'm doing some stuff down in Florida next, and then coming back up here for some private corporate stuff in the Twin Cities. Then heading to California for a couple festivals, and kind of our Midwest time for touring is like May through September.
Yeah,
so
that's smart.
We hit it pretty hard mid-May through the end of September. Like
pretty much, if it said festival, then Rafe's at it.
Festival season, outdoor stuff. We just found that like that type of crowd, we've kind of even really built our sound and our whole act and stage presence and everything off of being at festivals. So like when we're playing like club shows and stuff, it's just a different thing. Like I feel like when it's 75 degrees and it's a beautiful day in June or July and you're in northern Minnesota, like everyone's just ready to party, because you don't really get that very often. So that's kind of the vibe and the atmosphere we came up playing in. That's our wheelhouse for sure.
Now, if people want to check you out, which I'm sure they do, because you sound great, is it rafecarlson.com?
Yeah.
Cool. You got a Christmas song for us? I bet you've got some of your relatives, maybe mom and dad out there listening to the show.
Yeah.
Why don't you play us a little Christmas tune?
I came up listening to Dan Fogelberg, believe it or not.
Oh, no, I love Dan.
Which is funny because, our music sounds more like Lynyrd Skynyrd and Led Zeppelin, that sort of thing. It's an old Dan Fogelberg song. One of the first ones I learned by him, actually. It's a Christmas song.
my old lover in the grocery store. The snow was falling Christmas Eve. The store behind her in the frozen foods, and I touched her on the sleeve. She didn't recognize the face at first, then her eyes flew open wide. She went to hug me and she spelled her purse, and we laughed until we cried. We went to have ourselves a drink or two. We couldn't find an open bar. I bought a 6-pack at the liquor store, and we drank it in her car. We drank a toast to innocence. We drank a toast to now. Tried to reach beyond the emptiness, neither one knew how. We drank a toast to innocence. We drank a toast to time. We're living in our eloquence, another old lang syne. The beer was empty and our tongues were tired, running out of things to say. She gave a kiss to me as I got out, and I watched her drive away. Just for a moment I was back in school. I felt that old familiar pain as I turned to make my way back home. The snow turned into rain.
Thanks for listening to Stars Over the Prairie. We've got a special holiday show next week. You can follow me at paulmetsa.com. Cats Under the Stars 50th anniversary, December 28th at the Parkway Theater in St. Paul. And like my dad used to tell me, remember to be kind and make someone happy. Thanks so much, Rafe.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you.
I wish I could see stars over the prairie.